You are watching the Notre Dame Recruiting Update. Mike Singer, Trey Yanity back with you on this Friday. Welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good one so far, and we appreciate you joining us for another update here of Notre Dame football. Had to rock with the helmet to start the show at least here, and we thank our friends here at On3 for providing us with such cool props like this and other effects. So we wanted to jazz it up a little bit today, guys. And as we get into the show, we want to make sure that you are jazzed up for some Notre Dame football and Notre Dame football recruiting. What's the best way to do that? Well, that's by subscribing to our channel and making sure that you hit the like button as well for me. And guys, when you're a subscriber, that means that you can be a commenter as well. So please get into the comments section as we get into the show today. Let us know what you're thinking about Notre Dame football, about Notre Dame recruiting, about everything going on here in the month of April as we get set to wrap it up and turn the corner into the month of May. The showers are here, but the flowers are coming. And Mike, I think you deserve some flowers for your coverage of Notre Dame recruiting throughout the spring. Notre Dame football in general, I know, before spring practice, it can get dry. A lot to get into with spring practice. You get to the spring game that we are excited to cover for you here on our channel as well. But Mike, how you doing on this Friday?
Dude, I am doing really well. Busy week. Phones blowing off the hook. News breaking left and right. Predictions everywhere. Got Trey rocking the Notre Dame helmet. He's in the studio. Just really a lot to talk about. It was a great timing for me to get sick this week, feeling under the weather, but better now. But still probably need to take a nap after the show. I'm still not at my best. And I had to wake up pretty early this morning to hit the road for a quick little recruiting trip, which we may talk about later in the show. So yeah, it's really good. I do want to start real quick, about 10 minutes before we started the show. Lorenzo Styles entered the transfer portal. I was literally editing a video from our Wednesday night live show with Tyler Horka talking about, hey, Lorenzo Styles to cornerback. What does that mean for the corner room? What's the outlook with the corner room? And I had to delete that one pretty quick because, it was fairly outdated right away. So, yeah, Lorenzo Styles hit the transfer portal. Look, and Tyler and I talked about this in our Wednesday show. When you have Styles, you think back to that Fiesta Bowl game, breakthrough game, and going into 2022 looks like he's going to be maybe receiver one, and then it just didn't. He still had a lot of receptions, but it was still not a good season. The expectations were not met, and then you start talking about moving positions. That's not a good sign at that point. Like, sure, if you're a freshman, sophomore trying to get on the field, move a position, sure. But in this instance, it did not seem like a good thing. So they try him at corner, just clearly, it wasn't working out. Lorenzo Styles has hit the transfer portal. Not a big shock at all. Honestly, guys, these kind of rumors about Styles had been going on for quite some time. We don't really like to talk about transfer portal rumors. At least I don't. And I say I'm speaking for us at Bloom and Gold. Like, it just doesn't do anyone good when you talk about, ponder potential transfer. But it's definitely sad how his career panned out, especially when you consider the hype and excitement. On May 1st, Trey, it's my 4-year anniversary covering Notre Dame football recruiting. And Styles has to be one of the 10, if not 5, biggest recruits that Notre Dame landed. So it is definitely, it's this one sucks. Just when you think about all those things, but definitely looking forward to seeing what's next for Styles and root for him wherever he goes next.
What a bummer on this Friday. But like you said, not a crazy surprise here. And I love what Bernie's saying in the comments. He looked great this spring and still had no chance against this group of receivers. I think it speaks volumes about, what Notre Dame has done at that position. Try him at corner, it's not working out. And, we see this after the spring. We see guys like Styles enter the portal. Is there anybody else, any rumors, anything that you're looking into here in the second transfer portal window?
In terms of guys leaving?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like talking about it. No, I mean, there's going to be guys, but yeah, I don't really like speculating on that, Trey. No,
any position, I guess, that you're looking at?
Every position. Yeah, everywhere. Maybe not quarterback, or maybe quarterback. Who the hell knows?
I mean, who knows with this room?
Who knows? Maybe the guy who doesn't win out leaves, and then they bring in another. Like who knows? I don't know. And so everywhere they really do, and that's not just coach speak kind of thing. Like, oh, we're always looking to improve our roster. They're always looking to improve the roster, like 100% of the time.
And you can nowadays. I mean, you look at certain schools around the country, they position themselves to make an instant turnaround with some of the transfer portal moves that they've made. You wish them luck here in the portal, but sorry, Mike. I know you had some editing going there. Sorry you had to slow down your Friday a bit.
Hey, Trey, I'm looking forward to today's show. Before we get into the ad read, I am exhausted, and I think that kind of leads to me getting a little silly. And when I get silly, I like to sound off. So I'm going to give you guys some opinions today. There's already a comment that we'll get to later in the show. So that it kind of riles me up a little bit. So we got a lot of fun to talk about. A lot of fun things to talk about. So I'm looking forward to today's show. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up for sure.
Hit it, guys. And check us out at blueandgold.com as well. All the coverage over there, but it sounds like we got Loopy Mike today. I'm extremely excited to see what unfolds here. We got Jacob Jorgensen in the comments. What is up? Happy Friday to you as well, Michael. Thank you guys for being here with us. And Mike, it's unfortunate. My hopes and prayers still have not been answered since the last time we met here. We're now in late April, and there's still way too many displaced corporate executives, and I just don't think, with everything going on, that's going to change anytime soon. But you know what? We got a friend, and his name is Andy Ledecky. He's going to help you out, guys. If you are a displaced corporate executive, maybe you're wanting to put your career in your own hands, or you're experiencing some entrepreneurial ambitions and you want to diversify a bit, Andy Ledecky is going to hook you up. Guys, this is my perfect franchise. Andy's a huge college sports fan, and he's a franchise veteran, a vet. Maybe you have a vet that you like in particular on this Notre Dame team, maybe one of your pro teams has that veteran guy that kind of makes it all gel. That's Andy Ledecky for your business. If you own multiple franchises and businesses himself, he's going to use his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough consultation and evaluation process. He makes it personal, guys. He's going to take care of you. He's going to put your business on the right track. Small business, startups, Andy has got your back. Just give him a call, guys. And when you make that call, you're going to put your career and your life in your own hands. I think that's something you want in your own hands. So please call Andy. Go check him out at myperfectfranchise.com. And the best part of this whole thing, Mike, it's 100% free to you. So what do you have to lose here? I don't think there's any bad things in there. I don't think there was any losses that I just went over. It is free, guys. Call Andy. Go check him out. myperfectfranchise.net. Find your perfect franchise with Andy Ledecky there. And as we get into the show today, Mike, a few guys to talk about. As far as the RPM prediction machine goes, Cree Thomas, Jason Robinson, and we were just talking about Styles. How about Styles Prescott as well? Want to get into these three guys, some predictions, coming here. Let's start with Cree Thomas, the cornerback, 6'1", 170 out of that class of 2025, out of the state of Arizona as well. What is your prediction here?
Shockers for Notre Dame. Yeah, on the RPM. I did a video with Dara Pritchett, and you can find that on Thursday, where I went in depth about this one, talked about 4 minutes on it. So I'm not going to spend too much time, but he's from Phoenix Brophy Prep, which is the high school of Ben Morrison. I mean, you see a picture of these two guys standing next to each other. Thomas is like 3 years younger than him. He's a little bit bigger than him even at this point. Maybe not, he's not the strength room bulk, as someone who is going into a sophomore year, and Thomas is, going into his junior year of high school, but I think he's a little bit taller, actually, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, you see the rankings websites, on 3 and 24/7 have them ranked, but not very high at this point. Kind of just these modest high 3-star rankings, which is pretty common early on in a recruiting cycle for these websites to give a player. And coming off of his visit that he took last weekend, Notre Dame sources are actually buzzing here. Like there's a lot of excitement about Notre Dame to land Creed Thomas out of Phoenix. And Phoenix is a really cool place for me to visit. So I hope that Notre Dame really continues to make headway here so I can go back out. The last time I went to Phoenix, it was to see Ben Morrison during his senior year of high school, and I had a really good couple days out there. So here's to Mike Singer getting back out to Phoenix. We're actually met a couple Notre Dame fans and got dinner with them, and that was really cool. So I always love when I hit the road and get to meet some of you guys. So I'm always open to it. But yes, back to Creed Thomas. Look, he's going into his junior year of high school. Heck, these predictions that I log for seniors, they can change the drop of a hat. It's even more so with the juniors when their recruiting process has such a long way to go. But for now, definitely like where the eyes are at.
Yeah, Creed Thomas out of Arizona there. Really underrated state. I'm with you, Mike. It's so beautiful and easy to get around there as well. Hopefully you get to go check him out there. 6'2" and 195. It's early, and he is a 3-star, but you expect big things, and you expect, these other sites to catch on here as well. Let's talk about Jason Robinson a little bit. Also rated as a 3-star at this point, out of the class 2024. Another wide receiver, and a guy that's, a little bit smaller, 5'9", 145, out of Texas, Long Beach Poly, I believe there. I know he also has a Notre Dame prediction that was logged this week. Talk about some of the other schools in the mix here and, kind of how you see things going.
Yeah, one of the quirks for these profiles is that it's listed as Houston, Texas. Like that's supposed to be like the hometown, which he's not even from Houston. He did live in Houston. Long Beach Poly's in Long Beach, California. So yeah, it's kind of a quirk there. I know like on 3 wants to go with like hometown, but a lot of times the hometown is not in the where the school is at, so it can be a little bit confusing. But yeah, in this case, he's actually he's born in Southern California, but I guess when he started getting recruited, he might have been in Houston for a short period of time. I think it's been 20 years since Notre Dame landed a player from Long Beach Poly. It's a USC feeder school, but Robinson was formerly committed to USC. Notre Dame offered him last March for Pot of Gold Day, and he's been really excited about the Fighting Irish ever since. He's 5'9", 145, and I was like, man, that's got to be an outdated height weight. He's just at Notre Dame for 2 or 3 days this week, and I guess it's fairly accurate. Like he's not a really big dude at this point, but he's a pretty dynamic slot receiver. Notre Dame really, really wants him. Looking like the top 3 is Notre Dame, USC, Colorado. Personally, Trey, I think it might be even more Notre Dame, Colorado. I logged the prediction for Notre Dame to land him, and look, Trey, I'm turning 30 later this year, and the more I age, right, and I've been in this business for 10 years, so I've been around a while. The more I kind of enjoy talk about things that piss me off, things that just kind of get under my skin. And I've talked about this. Predictions, like early in my career, predictions were like, I know this kid is going to this school. I'm going to log a prediction so I can look really good, right? Now I'm coming around to like, man, just take some shots, let's predict things. Like I'm not just going to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. But I think with some of this stuff, like, yeah, let's like make some bold picks. So like, I'm not super confident in this one, but I'm predicting it, right? If I predict the Dolphins to win, the Super Bowl, that it's a prediction. That's more of a guess, though. That's more of a hope. This is a it's definitely a prediction, but we'll, I'll also feel fairly confident projecting it if all that kind of rambling makes sense. So yeah, I don't like predicting a kid, and it's like, oh, I know this kid just committed to the staff and is announcing in 3 days. Let me log a prediction. Don't do that. I don't like doing that. I'm not doing that. So, yeah, long way to say Robinson, he's going to Colorado this weekend. So, with that, it's hard to feel like very, very confident in the prediction. you can like give percentages, like your confidence percentage. I do 60% for every single prediction. I feel like doing 50% is too low, and anything above 6, like I don't know what that means. Like what I'm logging a prediction. What the confidence is, I don't know. I mean, it's recruiting. You never know. So RPM is reading pretty high at Notre Dame. I mean, Colorado's got more than a 1% chance, so I can tell you that much.
With a guy like Robinson, why do you feel more inclined to make a prediction in this case? What gives you that confidence here?
So I'm glad you asked that, because I don't rarely will I make a prediction, just based on my gut. I don't pull these things out of my butt. I am talking to a lot of people. As much as I, look, let's have fun with it. Let's make some bold predictions. I also take it very seriously, and I'm going to talk to various sources, different industry sources, people on the recruit side of things, people, on the Notre Dame side of things. So talking to those sources and coming off of his visit, yeah, I mean, folks are pretty confident that he's going to end up at Notre Dame. My personal opinion, I'm not as confident. Robinson is an LA kid who has to like the primetime aspect of Deion Sanders. So you never know him going out there what ends up happening. But yeah, my sources are pretty confident here, coming off the visit, and feel good enough logging that pick.
Yeah, it's not guessing, guys. This is Mike Singer. He is
to an extent. To an extent.
Well, they're educated, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And for a guy like Robinson, like you said, it might come down to Notre Dame and Colorado, but it would be huge to get a guy for the first time in 2 decades out of Long Beach Poly there in California. Joe Bro's watching us from the DMV area. Thank you for joining us, guys. Let us know where you're watching us from today. Love hearing where everybody's at. You said you met some Notre Dame fans in Arizona. I know we got Notre Dame fans all over the country. So, guys, get in here. Let us know what you're thinking. Keep hitting that like button as we continue on through the show here. One more guy I want to talk about prediction-wise, Styles Prescott. Guy that has his interest a little bit more in the Midwest here, out of Indiana. A guy that is, has the size for an interior offensive lineman, 6'5.5", 270, and you expect him to grow as his career continues. Out of the class of 2024 as well here. If you see in the top 3, you got Notre Dame, Iowa, Purdue as the leans. Who's in this race?
Notre Dame.
Is it 92.8 there?
Look, the RPM's the RPM. I don't know. Like it has to be a little bit more, like 2% is the next best. RPM's got some work to do. But I do love it. It's like my favorite recruiting idea ever. But yeah, it just needs more data in it. But who else? I mean, you guys know Bama offered Styles Prescott. Bama, Michigan. In terms of visits, Iowa. But I mean, he was just at Notre Dame last weekend, and then he's back at Notre Dame this weekend. Follow the visits is my mantra. Although I kind of am wondering how the unlimited official visits thing's going to impact that. Are kids just going to take official visit to Hawaii? Like, are a bunch of kids going to be like, yeah, Hawaii, that's my, they're in my top 6, like I want to go take an official visit to Hawaii, like I think it's going to take all these official visits to random places though, just to, get those experiences. But anyways, yeah, Prescott being an Indy kid, visiting Notre Dame for the 4th time since September and in back-to-back weekends, like where the Irish are at here. Listed as an interior offensive lineman, about 6'6", he's got some height. Notre Dame likes him at tackle. So I like him to join Anthony Knapp and Peter Jones on the Notre Dame commit list. And if that does happen, like David Lowe says, no Lambert this weekend. Yeah, so we, reported 3-4 weeks ago or something like that Lambert was going to be on campus for the spring game, and then that fell through, at least to my knowledge. So but I still do believe that Notre Dame would hold a spot for Gerby Lambert as a fourth offensive lineman. Now, would they have a fourth? Would they leave that spot for some of the other offensive linemen they've offered? I don't know, but all I know is at this point is that Lambert would definitely be one. But what other options he would? Notre Dame would still have. On the offensive line board, maybe they would just be done with the three. Still very much to be determined, Trey.
Follow the visits. How about you follow the rainbow to the pot of gold? And guys, I think the real pot of gold is our friend Augie with Augie's Locker Room. If you're a passionate Notre Dame fan, you're looking for that special Notre Dame piece of memorabilia, something to complete your rec room, you're going to check out Augie's Locker Room. You go to augieslockerroom.com. There you can see a wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, one-of-a-kind Rockney items. They even have stuff from Joe Montana's collection. Sculptor Jerry McKenna has as many replicas featured on the site and in store as well. Go check out Augie, 1811 South Bend Avenue in person, or you can give him a call at 574-277-ND. So much stuff here, guys, and I don't think we pick favorites when it comes to our advertisers, but this is, one that we definitely love to feature because it's just such a cool thing. It's such a cool, way to complete that rec room, that man cave, get that special gift for somebody. Not too many holidays coming up. Maybe you got a birthday, somebody special in your life. Get them something from Augie's Locker Room. You see it here. You got, the championship banners, jerseys, all this stuff is one-of-a-kind items. And the best part of it all, if you see something, you think of something that you would like, Augie's going to go out and he's going to find it for you. Go check him out again, guys, augieslockerroom.com. Go visit him, 1811 South Bend Avenue. This is as Notre Dame as it gets. And we had jewelry featured here, all kinds of stuff. And he's constantly adding to this collection, guys. So be sure you continue to go and visit Augie on the website and 1811 South Bend Avenue. I think it's 574 ND. That stands for Notre Dame. Notre Dame, and Joey's making a good point here. We got Father's Day, guys, coming up 2 months away. Mother's Day, Memorial Day, whatever day. It's a great day for Augie's Locker Room. So go check it out, guys. Mike, any other predictions that we want to talk about before we move it along here?
I changed my mind now.
Okay, we're gonna hold on. We're gonna put
just no.
Maybe
one more something I was gonna talk. I changed my mind.
We'll put them in our back pocket and follow it along here as we go. But we talk about following the visits. How about a surprise visitor this past Thursday? We want to go down the right lane, not the wrong lane. How about DeJuan Lane? Out of the 2024 class, a safety, surprising Notre Dame with a visit on Thursday. Talk about how this came together here.
I can't believe you just said that. That was so lame. Oh, Trey Hannity.
My one corny joke of the show here. I had to get it out right in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll talk to different sources about visits and who's coming in. This was not a name that came up. And then, DeJuan Lane on campus Thursday. I was like, oh, this is kind of a big deal because Trey, we tried to, between this show, and I always say this show is just like a snippet of what you get at blueandgold.com and all of our written content and all the message board posts and all that. But I mean, we do our very best to cover everyone. And this is a recruit that has kind of slipped between the cracks a little bit. Like someone we haven't, part of that being he hadn't visited Notre Dame and he was a longtime target for the Irish. Plus, he's not, a big social media guy and doesn't do a ton of interviews. So you had DeJuan Lane from Baltimore Gilman, listed as a linebacker, but a safety target for the Irish. The Irish are, definitely recruiting some of these guys who are, they're safeties, but maybe not your Kyle Hamilton, just the long, rangy safety. You're still recruiting that guy, but you're a lot more kind of safety linebacker. Or safeties that kind of those hard hitting guys come up in the box and make some stops. Davis Andrews, who's visiting this week, and we'll talk about Kennedy Urlacher would fit that, and I think DeJuan Lane would too, listed as a 4-star linebacker in this 2024 class. So he made it to campus on Thursday. Notre Dame fans, you need to get familiar with this young man because he might just be the surprise of Notre Dame's recruiting class. And so maybe it shouldn't be a surprise anymore. Like, I think that Notre Dame might actually land him and should be considered the favorite right now. So pretty exciting prospect here for the Irish, and one that the staff really wants. Back in February or so, I wrote an article starting to transition from 2023 to 2024. Is one of my gold standard articles on a Monday. The 10 most wanted recruits in the 2024 class for Notre Dame. DeJuan Lane was on that list. And like with those predictions, with an article like 10 most wanted for Notre Dame, I'm not pulling that out of my butt. All right. Like, that's well sourced. So it's a way for me to tell you guys, like, the staff really wants DeJuan Lane. So this would be a huge get.
Yeah, it'd be a big gate at safety here. And, it's a big weekend, I think, in general at the safety position. Talk about some other guys at that spot and what you expect this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for the weekend of 15th, you had Kennedy Urlacher, a huge safety target for the Irish on campus. And then, so you had Lane Thursday. I don't think he's there this weekend, but I can't say that for 100% certainty. Oliver Miles is another guy you got to get familiar with, 6'2", 273 pounds. And he's got a little ribbon around his neck in this picture. Maybe that he's a track star too. I know that Notre Dame is very excited and high on this young man as well. So I know he's taken an official to Vanderbilt this summer, so he's definitely a really good student with Notre Dame and Vanderbilt on his list. Yeah, some of these positions. All right, listen, Notre Dame fans, we are in a calm before the storm. I think there's about to be a lot of commitments. Like, think about defensive line, one commit, but there's like several guys. You're like, man, I just feel like a lot of these guys are trending towards the Irish. Linebacker, Kingston Viliamu, Asa, and Bodie Cahoon are coming to campus this weekend. I mean, Kingston tells me he is. Knock on wood that he does, actually make it in. And Cole Sullivan's visited before. It's like, man, you feel like these linebackers, maybe some of these guys are getting close to popping towards the Irish. A lot of these safeties, I feel like Notre Dame leads for Kennedy Urlacher, DeJuan Lane, Oliver Miles. I like Notre Dame for Davis Andrews, even from American Fork, Utah. He's visiting Notre Dame this weekend. This is, quote, a huge, pivotal weekend for him going to Notre Dame. And yeah, again, I like the Irish in this recruitment as well. I can't confirm it yet, but I heard Tay Johnson from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's coming in this weekend. Listed as an athlete, Notre Dame's recruiting him as a safety and receiver. I think more so safety. I could see Notre Dame ending up with him. I don't have as good of a sense on Justin Denson, but the Irish have offered him, and he's coming to campus as well. But it does seem like Michigan State's the leader there. So, Trey, it is a huge, recruiting weekend for the Irish at the safety spot. I mean, I just listed 5 guys. Just like, man, you can see Notre Dame ending up with all of these. Will they? I don't think they're going to take 5 safeties in addition to their 2 corners they already got. But it's the calm before the storm at a lot of these positions, especially at safety. Notre Dame's at 9 commitments, because a lot of this is a domino effect, Trey. Like, you land 1 safety, it's like, oh crap, we only have like 1 safety spot left, or 2 safety. Like, oh, I got to get my spot. Like, oh, Notre Dame just landed a linebacker, they're only taking 3. I want to get my spot. This is my favorite school. Why wait? Why take the official visit to these 3 schools when I've already visited all 3 of them, and Notre Dame's my favorite? Like, so I think that we're about to get rolling here. Like, don't be surprised if Notre Dame's at like 15 commitments going into the summer, and then like 24, or something like that going into the fall. Like, it's going to be bam, bam, bam like that. I mean, you guys know how it is recruiting. How many times in the past couple cycles has Notre Dame gone 4 days in a row with a commitment? Like, I think those days are soon coming. Brace yourself. It's coming.
Well, and like you said, it's such a big weekend at this position. Big weekend in general, obviously. Advantageous to get guys in the stadium to see a game here. But do you think it helps or hurts to have so many guys with the same position on campus at the same time? Is that a turnoff to any of these safeties to think, well, I would rather go somewhere where, there's less competition and I can maybe have a chance earlier?
Well, you just mean like in terms of there's 5 safeties?
You
Like
think
it's
it's
a lot.
it's overwhelming for some of these guys
I mean,
to
I mean, if I'm a recruit going on a big visit weekend, there's going to be, no matter where you go on a visit, there's going to be a ton of safeties or receiver, like, so that's always the thing. I think it's actually can be good for Notre Dame and these other colleges in the sense of showing like, hey, you're not the only guy we got on our board. Like, let's move this thing along. Like, crap or get off the pot, some like, so I think that's part of it. I mean, as long as you have the manpower to show all these recruits love, I don't think it matters too much. And if the player gets scared off by, oh, they're recruiting other safeties and not just me, is that the guy you want?
Yeah. And, like you said, it puts a premium on it as well as far as the spots go there. So, going to be really fun to follow that position this weekend. Going to be fun to follow it in general. I know this is, our last live show here on Blue and Gold before the big spring game. Anything else you want to talk about as far as recruiting goes with the spring game or, just in general?
Just giving the floor to Mike Singer. All right.
Take it away.
This
is supposed to be one of our rant episodes, Mike. You're getting
Michael's a big follower of the show. So I'm not upset with you, Michael. All right. So sounds like Notre Dame is passing on the Twins. All right. So, you guys know I'm a big Liverpool fan, right? And there's a player that Liverpool had wanted for 2 years, right? In the transfer market. They're going after him wanted him for 2 years. Everyone knew about it. His name is Jude Bellingham. And now the transfer market for June, it's getting here. There's a lot of talk like, oh, is Liverpool going to get Jude Bellingham? They want him so badly. Everyone in the world knows Liverpool wants Jude Bellingham. They try to get him. They're not able to get him. They pull out of the race. The reports go out. Liverpool's out on Jude Bellingham. Now, is Liverpool no longer going after Jude Bellingham? Yes. Why? Because they can't get him. So if Notre Dame was going after the Twins for how long? I mean, a year? And it's like just now pulling out. It's like, there's reports, Jared Smith's leaning towards Michigan. Oh, Notre Dame's pulling out. Like, oh yeah, I didn't want him anyways. That drives me nuts. So I talked about the crystal balls thing. Like some of those can drive me crazy. If a kid's already said he's committed or not, if he's told the staff he's committed and maybe a reporter or two knows about it and they put in the prediction, that drives me crazy. But didn't want him anyways. We pulled out at the last minute. Like it's just, even if Notre Dame did say, don't want him anymore, and then he goes to Michigan, oh, it's not a recruiting loss. We didn't want him anymore. Notre Dame was recruiting him for so long and wanted these guys for so long. She'd be like, it's not a recruiting loss. If the Smith twins go to Michigan, it's a recruiting loss for Notre Dame. There's no two ways about it. We can't spin it and just say, they're going to Michigan, though. We hate Michigan. That's let's just spin it. You can't do that. And by the way, the Notre Dame even passing on the twin brothers, I think it's a bunch of crap. Like, I don't believe it. 1 second, talked to multiple sources. I don't know where this is coming from. If Jared Smith called today, I think Notre Dame would. If he said, "No, I want to go to Notre Dame," I think they would do cartwheels, to get the Smith twins. So I don't know who. All right. So Michael says, "Is it a case of Notre Dame preferring one twin or the other, but not wanting both?" That's my reason. I mean, the deal these guys want to go to the same college this entire time. I mean, it's a package deal. I think they have 30 offers. All of them are the same except for one offer. Like some low ACC school didn't offer the other brother, and I'm sure it was just a text that didn't go through or something. That's the reason. Like these, unless something drastically surprising happens, these guys are going to the same school together. So Notre Dame. Yeah, they knew what they were getting into here. Does that make sense? It's not like, we've been recruiting these guys forever. Their junior year film has been out for a long time. Oh, we just had a revelation that we don't like this one, and let's not. Like, no. And I just don't buy it. I don't at all. So we don't want him anyway. We didn't. Oh, he's not going to Notre Dame. Yeah, didn't want him anyway. That's the worst. I just don't like that. And in this case, Jared Smith, if he ends up going to Michigan, it's because or he picked Michigan over Notre Dame. It's not because Notre Dame pulled out. That's what I truly believe from talking to people and being in this business for a decade, like what I see and notice. So don't buy it at all. Unpopular opinion? Sure. Should I just be like, yeah, Michigan's getting Notre Dame scraps? Is that probably better for business? Sure. You guys would be like, yeah, Michigan sucks. Woohoo. Go Mike. Go to like, that's not ever what I'm going to do though. So there we go.
I mean, it's spin zone at its finest. You gotta take it in and spin it back out to make yourself look better. I get it from Notre Dame's perspective, but I think a lot of recruiting, it's kind of like a school dance. You want to take maybe this girl and she wants to go with another guy. So ultimately, you're gonna act like
I don't want her anyway.
So it's a spin zone. Mike, as we begin to wrap it up here, anything else you want to get to? I know Adam's asking about Anthony Saka in the comments. Anything else we got going on?
Yeah, 2025 linebacker. From is it Philly St. Joseph? Yeah, he's an exciting player and one of Notre Dame's first offers in the 2025 class. John McNulty offered him. I believe it was McNulty, but McNulty was recruiting him, former Notre Dame's tight ends coach, because McNulty played with Saka's dad at Penn State, and then McNulty leaves the staff. You're like, that connection is kind of lost. But then Al Golden comes on staff, and guess who also played at Penn State with McNulty and Saka's father? Yeah, Al Golden. So, Tony Saka's kid. So, definitely pretty exciting. And I agree, he's an elite prospect. Started off, as a safety, but then just has kind of grown into a linebacker. Excited to see him get on campus this weekend. Yeah, Michael mentions a lot of smoke with Mullins. Oh, yeah, you got no reason to apologize. Yeah, I think Mullins to Notre Dame is looking pretty good, hearing some really good things after his visit. But I just don't buy that or believe in talking to people that Notre Dame is off the Smith twins because they're getting Cole Mullins. Just don't buy it at all. And then from Ian, what's your read on Elijah Rushing? Keon Keeley 2.0 in terms of just the physical profile. I mean, heck, let me even pull up a picture of Elijah Rushing. The guy looks like him. I mean, look at Keon
brothers.
I mean, let me pull up Keon Keeley on 3. I mean,
gosh,
I look at the 6'5.5", 245, 6'6.5", 225. I mean, the rankings similar, similar profile, look the same. So, read on Rushing is that Notre Dame will fight like hell to get him. I think Arizona, the in-state school, I think it's more Arizona than Arizona State. Oregon is a big competitor. But yeah, it's a very crowded competition for Elijah Rushing, that 5-star defensive, and Notre Dame recruiting him as a Viper. Some people are cautiously optimistic. Maybe that's a good term, like optimistic, but not cocky or anything like that. Let's just see any other questions. This will be our last one. Tyler says, which recruit in either 24 25 you most excited seeing on campus this weekend? Isaiah Canyon from Warner Robins, the 2024 receiver. Warner Robins, Georgia, that is, I think he's a stud, and selfishly love covering his recruitment, considering that his high school is right next to a Buc-ee's gas station, and if you know about Buc-ee's, then that it's the second best place in the world behind Taco Bell, which I had breakfast at this morning. So I definitely say Isaiah Cannon, and then in the 2025 class, Saka's probably a a good one to go with. A lot of talent between the 2024 and 2025 classes. Getting to Notre Dame this weekend.
I can tell the spirits were high when we were texting this morning, Mike. A Taco Bell breakfast to get you started. Recruiting here in the middle. Shout out to Notre Dame in there as well. I love that username for you. And it looks like we got some snow in Montana, but we got blue and gold football coming your way tomorrow. The spring game. Tune in, guys. Coverage at blueandgold.com. Be sure, as we close it out here, to hit that like button one more time for me. And if you're not already, be subscribed to Blue and Gold on YouTube, because we're going to have coverage throughout the weekend into the month of May and moving forward as we creep through the summer and get set for another year.
Before you sign us off, live show after the spring game. Right afterwards, myself and Tim Hyde will be live. And then Sunday night, me, Goolsby, and Hyde are planning to be live. So probably 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So make sure you check out those two live shows as well.
Oh, yeah. Go check it out, guys. Big weekend. We're excited to have you on board for it. But until next Friday, for Mike Singer, my name is Trey Yanity. This has been the Notre Dame Recruiting Update. Have a good Friday, everybody. Let's go Irish.